I've been working in HubSpot since 2017, and I've never seen a perfect HubSpot portal. Well, that all changes today as I walk you through everything you need to know about HubSpot and what the perfect HubSpot portal would look like in today's HubSpot hack. All right, before we get going, I gotta say, this is going to be a highly subjective video that I'm gonna walk you through and won't be a perfect HubSpot portal for every instance. For the use case here, I'm going to be assuming only pro features across all hubs, and I'm going to be keeping things very, very high level, otherwise we would be here for days if I showed you how to set everything up here. So it's worth mentioning, if you want the perfect HubSpot portal, the HubSpot Hacks YouTube channel is powered by SimpleStrat. We are a Diamond HubSpot Solutions partner that help you operationalize HubSpot to its fullest potential. So down in the description of this video will be a link to our newsletter to get all the latest and greatest tips, tricks, and tutorials right to your inbox, as well as a link to schedule some time with us to get some hands-on help in case you want to have a perfect HubSpot portal like the one I'm gonna show you. I feel like the best way to demonstrate the perfect HubSpot portal is to work from top of funnel down. So we are going to start from a marketing side of things. And we're actually not even gonna start in HubSpot at all. We're gonna start on our SimpleStrat website here. So you'll see here, this site is actually built on HubSpot, which I highly recommend. That's going to give us tracking analytics into which cookied contacts or organizations through buyer intent are visiting our site. But if you're not building your site on HubSpot, always install the tracking code so you can get those same tracking analytics. And I highly recommend utilizing, if you're building any of these buttons that you see here, like book a call, that they be HubSpot CTAs so you can get additional tracking on who is clicking where inside of your HubSpot. Now, some ways that the perfect HubSpot would influence your website, whether it's built on it or not. Say somebody has spent a certain amount of time on your page or scrolls down, or like we have on our site, moves their mouse up as if they're going to exit the page. So you see, we had a pop-up to try to capture some information from them before they left, which is an offer or a resource or a guide, something that you are giving them to collect information before they leave or to get them to stay on your website. For us, it's subscribing to that HubSpot Hacks newsletter that I mentioned down in the description of the video. You should really go check it out. Another great thing that you could do is utilize a chat on your site. Even if you don't have a team that's available 24/7 to chat with people, you could implement a chatbot where you can have them ask any questions and teach the bot or use the customer agent or your knowledge base to have conversations with people even when you're not there, or have the manpower to do it 24/7. And I also would highly recommend, if you're hosting a blog or any sort of resources like case studies or things like that, or hosting webinars, that they can sign up on your site. So if we go to our checklist, guides, and more, all of these are being hosted here inside of HubSpot. So if you view our worksheets and guides or our ebooks, you can download them from here. And if you wanted to have these gated, have them be HubSpot forms and then deliver them via email or pop up right after. Ours are not gated. Now your main page, CTA or call to action, again, highly recommend this be a HubSpot CTA. So yours might be contact us. It might be book a demo. For us, it is book a call. This is where we have people who want HubSpot help come to our site and give us a little bit of more information before they can book with us. Having this be a HubSpot form is going to make it really easy for me to route these to salespeople or do further qualifications inside of HubSpot a little bit later. The way ours set up right now is that there's a qualification form, and when you click schedule now, it can then take you to booking a call with us. So you might want to skip that qualification and just have your HubSpot meeting link directly right on your site, which a lot of our clients do, and we sometimes do as well. Right now, we're just testing that form, but you can have people book with you right on your site, which again, I highly recommend. Great way to capture leads and get them in front of your salespeople. Now, here I am in a contact record. This is me who just signed up for the HubSpot Hacks newsletter and wanted to book a call. So your team will have insight into where I clicked around on the page, which form I submitted, information I gave, as well as which records are being enriched and everything along those lines. Now, when new contacts come in, if they're not immediately sales qualified, like filling out that form or booking a call, say someone subscribes to the newsletter or downloads a resource, you're probably going to want to enroll them in some sort of drip campaign workflow, like I'm showing you here, where emails can go out to them to nurture these contacts. And then those workflows branch out into other workflows with other email drip campaigns. You can even add them into specific audiences so that they're getting retargeted with ads. And then, of course, you want to make sure that you have lead scoring set up to make sure you're tracking who's engaging with all of this effort that you're putting into staying in front of them, to say, hey, they've actually engaged with some of this criteria. Maybe they haven't explicitly raised their hand and filled out a form, but they hit our target lead score. Now we want to hand that person off to our sales team, which then enroll them into a lead routing workflow. So a workflow like the one I'm showing you here, which can go to your sales team based on an even rotation, based on industry, based on specialty of products or service offerings that you guys have based on zip codes. I think I might have mentioned territories already, but really the possibilities are endless on how you route them to your sales team. And then of course, it's really important that you have your life cycle stages, lead stages, and deal stages in order, actually represent your process and have clear definitions to make sure you can actually track the success of all of this effort and work you're putting into these marketing functions. That way you get access to customer journey analytics so you can see where your ad spend is going, how many leads you're creating, and how many are actually turning into customers. Then we have another really awesome tool available to you on Pro or Enterprise called Buyer Intent Prospecting Agent, which is going to be probably a mix between marketing and sales efforts. So it's really important you guys are aligned on this. But in the Buyer Intent tool, you can see which organizations are actually visiting your website, and then either enroll them automatically or put emails together for your team to review before they go out. So that way, you're actually being proactive. If maybe people don't engage with your pop-up CTAs or book a meeting with you, you can still get an idea of who might be interested in your product by visiting your site, as well as also research signals inside of HubSpot, meaning maybe they didn't specifically hit your site, but are looking up certain keywords or criteria alongside what you guys would be offering. But before I started jumping into lifecycle stages and tracking analytics correctly, I mentioned now they're being handed off to sales, and the place they're going to want to do that is in the sales workspace, which we have a whole video on the sales workspace that you can check out. But basically, it's a place that your sales rep should go every single day to manage their leads, see what actions they should be taking place on, and where they should be spending their most time. So leads are going to be everything sort of pre-deal. They're not fully qualified yet. They're not entering our pipeline. There's no revenue you can actually tie to them, but you know that they're actually worth your time. So we have our default pipeline here of new, attempting, connected, qualified, and disqualified stages. Highly recommend these HubSpot defaults because this is going to be automated for you. When marketing creates that new lead, it sits in the new stage. When sales reaches out, it'll automatically move to attempting. When they respond, we'll automatically move to connected. And then from there, it's up to your sales team to qualify or disqualify them. So say I take Will's lead here, move it into qualified. It's going to be really awesome. HubSpot prompts me, hey, you got to create a deal now. Are you handing this off to a different person? What pipeline should it be in? Is there an amount you would put on it? What do you expect the close date? All these questions need to be answered in order to move it into the deal pipeline. Or when you don't want to do it, but I have to sometimes, disqualify a lead, you can pick the reason why they're being disqualified and say, and when you apply it, say bad timing. Some of those prompts can say, okay, well, when should you follow up? If it really is bad timing, did they say 1 month, 6 months, or custom date that you can pick? Now, some people like to just skip leads altogether and just go right to deals, especially if those meetings are being booked on your website, like I mentioned earlier. Let's switch over to the deal tab here. Here I can track all my deals with the highest likelihood of becoming a customer. You can also insert weighted values to these deal stages, which are going to be really important to your forecasting. Highly recommend utilizing the forecasting tool because it's going to tell you, how are you looking this month? How are you looking next month? And what are the quarters down the road? Are we going to meet our goals? Does marketing spend need to be ramped up? Do SDR efforts need to be ramped up? Whatever it is, you get some insight into how your company health is going to be in the future. It's like having a crystal ball. Then when you're working through these pipelines, it's really important to have some deal stage guardrails, some dependent properties. So say, for example, I want to move a deal into a specific stage. Like before I can move this deal into contract sent, I get a pop-up saying, if it's empty, you have to put in the value. If it's known, you have to confirm it. How much was this deal worth and what is the expected close date? And you can do this for a wide variety of properties here as well. And if I don't answer this question, the deal pumps back to that previous deal stage. But if I do answer it and click apply, then you see it goes into contract sent. I'd even recommend automations like using HubSpot's quoting tool to build proposals right inside of HubSpot. So that way, if they use HubSpot for payments or they e-sign, it would automatically move it into our closed won deal stage. So you can see here, confirm the amount and put in a renewal date if there is one. We got some confetti here on the screen to celebrate. And one of my favorite things is to automate a message to like your Slack channels or your team channels, celebrating that win with your whole team. All right, the deal is won, but we're not going to stop here. There's more to be done. If you subscribe to HubSpot's flywheel method, right, we've just started. Now we got to delight the customer and always be looking for upsell, cross-sell opportunities to continue to work with this client and make sure we get referrals from them and have a long-standing relationship with them. So you saw that pop up for renewal dates. If you are an industry that has contract renewals, you're probably going to want a dedicated renewal pipeline like I show you here. And when sales gets a new lead, I highly recommend the sequences tool, which can automate outreach to them via email, set task reminders for them to connect on LinkedIn, make phone calls, making sure that there's a cadence for your sales reps and everyone's doing the same amount of touches at the same amount of time so you can really test what is working, as well as automating any secondary, third, fourth, fifth emails that go out so they're not spending a ton of time on the same people. Even having the meeting scheduler involved there that I showed on the site before, so that way if people respond to your emails or they book a call with you based on those sequences, it would take them out of the enrollment so they don't continue to get reached out to. There's also HubSpot Playbooks that your SDRs or sales team should be using, especially if they're doing virtual selling, that they should have open to help them guide their calls. Make sure they're asking those key questions. Make sure that they are running a clear agenda on the calls and are equipped with ways to answer objections. You can literally have a cheat sheet right there on the screen for you and make sure your reps are all delivering the same experience. Again, this is all about understanding what's being said and being able to test if it's working. So everyone needs to be doing things the same. Playbooks are a great way to do that. Your users, especially your sales team, should always be using tasks to stay up to date with people. So sequences help you stay up to date with tasks, but outside of that, when you're managing your deals or managing your prospects, every person you're reaching out to should always have a follow-up task. That way, when you come into your task view, you can just start your day right from here. You can say, hey, I've got all these tasks that are overdue. Let's start my tasks. And it will take me one by one through all the people that I need to reach out to. If I need to make a phone call, it can pop up here. A perfect HubSpot would have calling integrated with HubSpot, would have your email integrated where you can do all of it directly from here without needing to jump to different systems. Take out a cell phone and use a dial pad or hop to Gmail or Outlook to send those emails. Everything can be done directly here within HubSpot. Huge time saver. And if you're using those emails, you can utilize templates to quickly send messages to them that you've used in the past that you know work. I've mentioned sequences. And then if you're making those phone calls, talk about those playbooks that I talked about. You can utilize those playbooks to make sure they're asking the right questions. I also highly recommend utilizing the customer success workspace. We have a dedicated video to this, but this is where your customer success team can come in here and take a look at all of the customers that they've been assigned and having a customer health score involved for them so you can see what your relationship is looking with them. Your customer success team can manage their projects. So if there's onboarding steps that you need to take with them, which is it's really important for SaaS, professional service, tons of different industries to make sure that, okay, they've paid now, they're a client. We need to make sure that they get activated and are actually using it so they stay a long-term client. So creating these projects with tasks for your team to make sure that they are activating the product, staying on track for renewal and building a good relationship with you. So you can manage your projects here inside of HubSpot. You can track your recurring revenue pipelines here directly in one stage. And that was just looking at customer success. There's also a whole customer support help desk area where you can make sure when your clients reach out to you for help, they get speedy responses and helpful responses. So whether it's by an email, a form, a phone call, or using the chatbot, everything can come right here into help desk where the first available rep, or you can set it to route based on your rep's specialty or availability. Things are getting answered quickly and efficiently. You can even set up SLAs, which are service level agreements, to say if it's not responded to within a certain amount of time, that needs to get flagged internally in our system. So when you look at your ticketing pipeline, these are your support tickets coming in through your help desk. Anything on this new area, you can see somebody needs to hop on this and needs to be the first to respond. When we respond to them, it moves to waiting on contact. When they respond to us, moves to waiting on us. Again, all of this is automated for you. And then eventually you can close out that ticket, which will send a confirmation email to them letting know it's been closed. And then I would highly recommend utilizing, again, this is the perfect HubSpot, feedback surveys, where a survey goes out to them after a day or two asking them to rate your team's support methods. And now I've walked you through everything from this journey through marketing, through sales, through support and success. Now it's extremely important you've got the reporting and dashboards put in place to make sure everything that we've designed is working and that there's no place for improvement because you should always be trying to improve on yourself. Even though we've got the perfect HubSpot here, maybe the content or messaging or automations could be improved. So having dashboards in place to give you this information at a quick glance without having to go hunting is extremely important to making sure that your HubSpot is running as perfectly as possible. Now, there's so much more we could have talked about today to have the perfect HubSpot, like advanced automations, utilizing AI, which would be, again, a whole video that would take days and days and days to talk about. Integrations with other tools like QuickBooks or ZoomInfo or Apollo. But I think I did a pretty good job showing a baseline of what a perfect HubSpot portal would look like. So thank you so much for watching. Again, down in the description is going to be a link to our HubSpot Hacks newsletter to get all the latest and greatest HubSpot tips, tricks, and tutorials right to your inbox, as well as a link to get hands-on help from us. Thank you so much for watching, and happy HubSpotting.